What advice would you give to an unbelieving friend? Well, it's funny you should ask, because I've actually written a letter answering just that question. Dear friend, my life, I am persuaded, would fall apart in a heap in a moment, were I not a servant of the Lord. Though it is true that Jesus is the very font of my happiness, that is not why I follow him, nor how I would encourage you to follow him. Rather, I trust in his finished work and embrace his lordship, because I believe his word to be true. And I pray the same might one day be said of you. That said, though I fear if you do not repent and believe on his name, that your afterlife will be too horrible to contemplate. Because you are my friend, I hope for you the best possible life on this side of the veil. What follows are things you can do, or at least try to do, without embracing Jesus. To the extent that you succeed, your life will be better. First, live for something bigger than yourself. You may be persuaded that there is nothing above, no transcendent goal, but I suspect in your more honest moments you would confess that you are definitely not a sufficient reason to live. Serving self will make for a miserable life. If you fail, you will be bitter and frustrated. If you succeed, you will face the vanity of it all, and then you die. Second, be cautious with media. It can consume you, and it will most certainly mislead you. It will pretend to give you truth. It will pretend to give you purpose. It is lies made by men for men. There is more, even under the sun. Third, show some respect. Learn to honor that which is honorable, and flee from the cynical, the lowbrow, the snarky, and the knowing. When all your life is mockery, you make a mockery of your life. 4, take some time off. No one ever went to their grave wishing they had put in more hours at work. Bodies need rest, real rest. Yes, work hard, but give yourself a break. 5, do as you're told. We all by nature are rebels, and so are the people in authority over us, whether in our families, in our work, or in our community. Everyone has their weaknesses, including those above you in authority. Whatever you might gain in breaking the law and defying your boss, you lose in worrying about getting caught. I know it's silly to stop at that red light in the middle of that cornfield, but the time you think you'll shave off your trip will be counterbalanced by having to have a hyper-vigilant watching for the state police. 6, be nice to people. Don't hurt them, yell at them, gossip about them. I know people can be jerks. After all, I know me and I know you. But we can still keep from hating each other, can't we? Being bitter towards anyone, whether friends or foes, is eating poison and hoping they suffer. 7, and this is a tough one, love on your spouse. You promise to forsake all others. Keep that promise, not just for your spouse's sake, but for your own. I know how wonderful the mystery dance can be. But I can tell you that everyone who ever stepped out lost more than they gained, even if they were never caught. It destroys you because it is breaking the most solemn vow you are able to make. 8, don't take what isn't yours. Don't cheat on your taxes or your time card. Don't borrow stuff and fail to return it. And don't steal from your future by constant debt. I know it's in my holy book, but one need not believe the Bible to see the wisdom of owing no man anything save the obligation to love. 9, tell the truth. There's so much less to keep track of and so much less shame. And you'll find it rather a pleasant thing to have a reputation for telling truth. And while this may surprise you, I would insist that it is also vital that to thine own self be true principle. Here I don't mean the sophomoric notion that you must be true to who you are, but instead that you must be true toward you, about you. Tell yourself the truth about yourself. Self-delusion is deadly, for it's a box we can't escape from. Finally, be grateful. I've never known anyone, Christian or not, who grumbled and was happy. I've never known anyone either who was grateful and unhappy. If you follow the ninth suggestion, you will know that what you have is well more than you deserve. You won't, of course, be able to do all this. I don't do all this. Only one person ever did all this. And he solved our inability to do all this by suffering the Father's wrath that is due for us. Better than all the above is that you would confess your failure and cling to that man. He has promised us a wonderful life, a life filled with death and heartache, persecution and broken relationships, and him. Your friend, R.C.